We Piranacons forbid you to watch this video if you are under the age of 13. That means you must click the box and exit the video. Yes. But if you continue to watch, it shall avail you not. No. For now the power gauntlet has been cast. Piranacons, terrorize!
There he is. Can't wait to review this guy today. Alright. Piranacon finally getting reviewed. I can't wait. Forgot about Overbite. Yoink. Huh? Oh, what are you doing? You destroyed my set!
Ima watashi wa anata o hakai shimasu!
Oh.
Hey, Teal and Pink!
Hi everyone! Input couldn't be here today, so here I am, Oracle of Dreams, reviewing King Poseidon!
Oh, my head. Oh, what the... Oh, what the frag? You threw that at me? What the... Oh, hell no! Nope, nope, not happening.
What?
Nope.
What?
What? Nope.
Hey!
Nope. Not happening.
Oh, but,
So not happening. Nope. Nope. I needed a new chair anyway. Hey everyone, welcome back to Input. And now that imposter's gone, let's, me and you, take a look at this guy. Transformers Generations to Karatomi Mall, Hasbro Pulse, exclusive to a few other places, exclusive, Piranacon, or, well, King Poseidon. Alright guys, there's a lot to go over with this guy in particular, but what I'm going to do actually is save him for last. I'm going to show you guys how to build that gun stand that I keep showing you guys in the individual reviews for their gun modes, and I'm going to show you how to put all of their melee weapons together into the big sword mode. So I'm going to get him out of the way. King Poseidon, you can go rest over there for a second. And... okay guys, so we've got all of their melee weapons coming at you right here, and I'm going to bring the camera down so you guys can see all of this gloriousness. So we have all the melee weapons right here, and they all do combine together. So what you do, you get Snaptrap's sword here, and you get Golf's and Overbite's swords, and you're going to clip them in. Now there are lips and there are clips that correspond with all of this. So there are the clips, there are the indentions right there, and they simply plug in like that. And you're going to do the same to both sides, but what you're going to make sure is that there are clips in the sword and stuff by themselves. See there, tabs, and it's the same on both sides. So you're just going to clip them together and make sure they get put together and get nice and snug. And you'll feel a clip. You will feel these guys clip together. And there's part of the sword. So then you're going to take the two, whatever these, I keep calling them grapple hooks or whatever. And they're going to go on either end like so, on the 5mm peg ports right there, or on the pegs. And then there's a port right there as well. And you're going to plug that in. And then you're going to take the battle axe here that came with Nautilator, and you're going to plug that in, and there you go. There you have King Poseidon's massive sword. Well, it looks massive, but we'll talk about that in the review when we get to King Poseidon himself. So that's how you put the sword together. Now, how you put the gun stand together, I'll leave it down here, and I'll show you guys exactly what's going on here. So here we have Nautilator's tail, right here. And this simply plugs in to Snaptrap's bigger gun. And it's just a giant stack of weapons and guns. So this piece right here is actually the balancing part. To see, if you put it by itself, it'll just fall back. Okay? So you plug the back of Nautilus tail into the 5mm port on that rifle, and then you just balance it. And there you go. That's it. This is the entire stand. Now, I'll pan up and I'll show you guys exactly everything. So here we have Nautilus tail right there, and then we got the gun back here stabilizing. We have Snaptrap's or Turtler's gun right here. Then we've got Sea-Wing's guns on either side. And as you see, it's starting to fold. It's starting to fall over just a little bit. But it stabilizes just fine when you got them up there. So then you have Sea-Wing's guns here on the side. You've got Golf's tail, which folds around and folds out into a gun for a little bit of extra firepower there. And then you've got the two guns right there. These two guns right here combined together. And you're going to take these two and plug them into the peg right there that's on top of Snaptrap or Turtler's gun. And it pegs in just like that. And then you take the other gun right here that looks very similar to the other one that's holding it up. Or basically the opposite of this gun. And you plug that in on top just like so. And here comes who I've chosen to be gun is Overbite. And Overbite, the way that the gun mode works, plugs into the spare hand that you have that ends up coming with the entire set. Each one of these Seacons came with a hand. So you have 6 hands total, and you plug that on. There's a 5mm port with the peg right up top, and you guys can plug it on either side, and then just kind of wrap the fingers around down below like that, and there you go. You've got a gun stand for whoever you want in gun mode. Now, how cool is that? Now, I don't think Takara thought about this. I don't think this was a thing that I don't know, that they put in on purpose. I think this is just honestly a happy coincidence. So, there you go. Gun stand and Overbite is chilling up top. Now, there is a downside to this gun stand, and I will get into that when we get there in the Piranacon review. But now, let's take a look at King Poseidon. Alright guys, here we have King Poseidon in all of his glory. This is an awesome looking set. This just comes together wonderfully. So here I have everyone chosen as their respective limbs, and I went with the G1 setup on the limbs. So you can, since this is a Combiner Wars style, or this is a Combiner Wars figure essentially, you guys can basically pick and choose however you want to set him up. Now, in the instructions, it is highly, and I do highly recommend this, it is shown that the spare hands plug into the back of Piranacon's feet, just like so, to give you one massive heel spur. And it really, really does help. Now, there are some issues with the feet that I will go over. As you can see, he does have a little bit of balance issues, and it's the way the feet are designed. It's basically an issue from the ankle down, not necessarily anything upward. And like I said, I'll get into that here in a minute. Now, what you're going to want to do when you put this guy together, you're going to put Snaptrap's guns on the back. Now, Snaptrap's guns do collapse, and they do pop out or pop up just a little bit. When he's in combined mode, you're going to want to have these extended to give it a little bit more height. Otherwise, they do look really stumpy back there. So, the coloring on every last one of these guys really comes together. This is a huge, huge inspiration drawn from the character model from Super God Master Force. It's just a really awesomely well done figure. The head sculpt is very G1. The only downside I feel like to the head sculpt are that the fins back here in the back on the head, they don't lock forward. There's no locking mechanism or anything. So they fold forward, and then that's the best you get. They don't lock into place or anything else. It's a very small nitpick. I really wish they did lock into place somehow, but it doesn't really take away from the figure for me at all. His head does rotate left and right. There really isn't an up and down. You can't really, if you want to unpop the head or untab the back of the neck area, he can look down. You can get that, which does look weird because he's got the entire neck plate coming up as well. But hey, there's one extra point of articulation there, at least as far as I'm concerned, especially if you're taking photos or stop motion or something. You can at least have him look down and angle and stuff like that. He cannot, however, look up in any form or fashion. The chest plate here does tab in, but mine does not lock into place up top. There's a tab there, and then there's a hole there. As you can see, it's moving pretty freely. It just doesn't tab in. Nothing's really interfering with it. I don't think the tabs are long enough. They should have been maybe a little bit longer to fully secure in there. But again, it's fine. It holds its place. It does hold in place. It's just like I said, it just does come undone. But when it does come undone, it doesn't move around. It doesn't wiggle around or anything. It just kind of pops out and keeps its place. It's kind of hard to, it's a bit hard to explain, but I'm pretty sure if you guys have the figure, you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Arm rotation, double joint, because of it's the thighs and the knees right there. So, and then you do get the up and down and stuff and everything. Now, this holds phenomenally, okay? The joints on this guy are super tight in order to keep his arm up. It is super tight. It's really awesome that he has all this extra weight going on right here, and it's not really floppy. So that's super cool. C-Wing, same situation. Not floppy. Everything holds into place on C-Wing really, really well, I think. So that's super cool. Now, this is a Combiner Wars torso, so there is no waist swivel. There is a ratcheted knee or ratcheted thighs, of course, right? You do have the knee bend. You just got to move all of this out of the way, which it does fold. Now, this is a problem that I have with Golf in this mode, is that his head is slightly bigger than what it should be, and it ends up kind of hitting right there, so it doesn't really work as a knee too well. It's a bit of a shame, but I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. So what ends up happening is his head doesn't really fit in the hole all the way, but the other problem, at least mine doesn't really fit in there too well. Now, the other problem for the knee is that he's got all of this in the way, and he ends up hitting all of this when you try to bend the knee. See? And it gets slightly caught. It does come through. It will come through that way, but it does get slightly caught on the plastic. Now, it might be something, might be a little bit of flash or whatever still on the top of his head, or a mold line or something, and I'll just have to go in and sand it down. It's not that big of an issue. But if you really want if you really want the knee bend for Golf, like I said, you have to move all of this out of the way to get him to be able to be a knee. Kind of like I said, it's a bit of an issue, but see, like even right there, it does still come undone. So the knee isn't perfect on Golf if you're going to use him as a limb. Bit of a shame, but again, it doesn't really bother me because there is workarounds and stuff for it. It doesn't necessarily take away from it. Again, it's just you either get it or you get it partially, but you don't really get it all the way. See, as you can see, like mine won't go any further for golf, but Tentakill here, Tentakill, well, if he didn't come off, Tentakill will do a full knee back, where golf will do about here, about right there. So, and as you see, one of the issues with Tentakill being a leg is that it does kind of come undone. That's an issue with the mold that he shares with Moonracer and everybody else. It's just the way that this is constructed down there. So, let me show you guys the hands real quick. Set him back off back there. Now, to plug the sword in, so you got the hand here. I just took the hand off. To plug the sword in, you're going to undo the axe part. There's your 5mm port right there. You just slide it in, and you take this, and you put it on like so, or rotate it. However you want to face this bottom axe part, whichever way you want to. And that's the sword. That's how he holds it. So, now, there are some issues with this. The hand here tabs in. The way the hand works, I'll take Seawing's hand here and I'll show you guys. So, let me... Overbite fail. Party foul. So, there we go. So the hand here, the way the thumb works, it pegs in so the thumb can be one side or the other, right? Now the problem is that the sword is solely reliant on this peg and this peg hole in order for it to work, okay? Now, at times you already see it kind of wobbly. It comes undone real easy, and it's not because it doesn't peg in place well. It's mainly because the weight of the sword. There's that as well. So, the weight of the sword really works against the figure. But he does hold it. And mine, he hasn't had his sword. This is the first time his sword or his hand has fallen off because of the sword. Okay? But I could probably see that being an issue in the future. Now, what really kind of blows my mind is that the weight of the sword doesn't impact the joint area here. Normally, with these Combiner War figures, though, any extra weight, like a gun or something, would bring this entire thing sagging and it would be just down. But as you see, there's no issue with him holding the sword up. Now, as I said earlier, there is one small nitpick that I have with the sword. The sword, I feel, is just a tad on the small side for him. I really expected a giant sword for him from all of the promo pictures and stuff. All the promo pictures and everything for him, I expected a little bit bigger sword. I didn't expect the sword to be this small. But I do think the sword looks great. I love the idea of the back piece, that back axe piece right here, extending it out and stuff. Now, if you want to, you can have them hold it back here. Take that back out. So, you can have him hold the sword further back where the axe sits. But it gets kind of awkward because it only really works with this smaller tab here. And that's pretty much it. So you can get some extra length out of the sword and stuff, but like I said, again, it's a very awkward looking way for him to hold it. And just to show you guys how much he's holding on right there with that small 5mm port. So nothing... He's not holding on with a whole lot of, I guess, oomph or gumption with the sword. He's just kind of like, I don't want to be here, guys, but I guess if I have to. Now, the feet here, I find are, I'm going to take one of the feet off. The feet, I find, are the biggest issue with the figure. Now, these feet are molded phenomenally well. I love how the feet came out. Now, the problem is that There is a ratchet in here, okay? You can take this part out, and this is the ratchet that goes in there. It goes left or right. This pops out really freely, very easily. See? Just pops in and out. Now the problem with that is that there's nothing over this to keep it from moving forward, and this is where you get a lot of the issue with him leaning forward and not really being very stable, is at this piece right here. Because under enough weight, it starts to pull forward. You see how much that is? Now this doesn't seem like a lot. This is a lot. Because again, all of the weight of the figure is coming forward. So when that happens, all of the weight coming forward that way will force this even further and further, and then you'll hear that ratchet. There's a ratcheting forward and there's a ratcheting backwards. Okay? See? So, but all that extra weight will snap that ratchet forward, or pull that ratchet forward, and then you still have all of this wiggle right there. So that's what's going on with people saying that he's not stable. So if you don't really care about, I guess, the forward ratchet, you guys could possibly glue it. That might be a thing for you guys to do. But he does have ratcheting left and right. So like I said, it's not really a bad foot design per se. It's just something that possibly Takara overlooked. Now, the thing that you can do to help fix the stabilizing problem is you can notch this up one. Okay? And you see how now it still has enough play for him to stand straight up. Let me plug that in. See, you can kind of play with it. Well, I didn't put the heel spur back in. That's my fault. So, alright, so now as you can see, with it notched forward just one, or notched back, he stabilizes a lot better. So there you go. So if you guys, let me pull you down. So this one is the neutral. I pulled the ratchet backwards as I knock him over. This guy's just a little too big for my review stand or review table. But this foot is neutral stance. This foot is notched back just once. And he stabilizes, and that does help to stabilize him. See, now he's not really pulling forward. The weight isn't pulling forward or anything else like that. So, just a quick tip for Piranacon or King Poseidon to notch at the very least one of those ratchets forward, and that'll help you with any kind of stabilization issues. So guys, I will be right back, and I'm going to do the final comparison for this set. Let's take a look at him and Abominus together. Alright everyone, here is Abominus, and here is King Poseidon. King Poseidon! Or Piranacon, or Piranacon, or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. So here they are together, the remold and the remold of the remold, I guess. I don't know. They've used this torso, this Silverbolt torso, a lot, and I completely get why. It's really, really, really good torso. It's a great idea to flip him upside down and the whole arms become the legs kind of thing. Now, as you can see, the chest piece is completely redone. This is a clip-on piece, but even if I took it off, as you can see, the chest piece has been completely resculpted there, and I think they, man, I've said this before. They remolded the Dinobots into Abominus, and they remolded the Terracons into the Piranacons, or the Seacons, and they look completely different. The only real way at this point to tell whether or not that they're remold are the thighs. They use the same thighs, but again, just like in all of the other figures, they used stickers and paint, and then no paint and colored plastic, and that's the biggest way to tell. that's the biggest difference here. It really helps pull or separate the two figures, and the two combiners really helps separate the two. And the thighs here are the exact same, but again, it's painted, so it does bring out different contrasting tones and colors and stuff. And them doing that really helps change up the look. But that's it. That's the only two things that are similar between the two. And I think, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think they knocked this entire set out of the park. They really hit it. Now, Abominus here is upgraded with the Perfect Effects hands and feet. And my understanding, I saw a long time ago when Takara announced this, that Perfect Effect was working on some hands and feet. And I really think if Perfect Effect came along with some hands and feet, it would really help with the stabilization, I guess, issues. Like, I'm not really having a whole lot of issues with the stabilization. I don't want to overplay it. I don't want to make it sound like it's a huge problem, because the stabilization on him is not. There are stabilization problems, yes, but they are not as bad as everyone makes them out to be or makes them seem like. And I just want to make that clear, that I love these hands. I love the feet. These are arguably the second best hands and feet that Hasbro and Takara have done for their Combiner Wars figures. So, first set being the Computron box set, the Hasbro Computron box set hands and feet, followed by this set here. I absolutely love what they did here. So, guys, I'll be right back with final thoughts. Okay, so I know I said I'd come back with final thoughts, but I wanted to talk about the gun mode one more time, the gun stand and everything else. So, as you can see, I'm just going to take his arm off, or his hand off, instead of having to fiddle with the sword as well. So, as you can see, like I said, this is the entire gun stand that I kind of came up with. Now, the issue with it is that with him having a hand, here's the hand really, he can't really hold it by the stand, right? He can get this kind of look to where it kind of looks like he's holding it, but not really. It is stable because of the base. The base helps stable this entire stance. So if you really wanted that gun look, that G1 Piranacon gun look, it's totally a thing that you can accomplish here with this figure stand that I showed you guys how to create earlier. But one thing that you can do with the stand, if you want to, you can take his hand, whichever hand, off. And I think this is super cool. You can take his arm and you can plug the hand that helps become part of this entire thing, and you can plug it into this stand, and now he's just got a giant cannon on the top of his hand. That to me looks super cool, and it doesn't, like I said, the other way for him to quote unquote hold it, he doesn't hold it, right? His hand just kind of rests in a certain position. But this way, he is technically holding it, and you have a spare hand. So, I think, yeah, like I said, guys, I think this is a super cool addition. So, now I will be right back with final thought. Okay, guys, time for final thoughts. Man, honestly, I've said it every review I have done thus far throughout every last figure of these. Awesome set. I love everything, honestly, about the set. I love the way it came together. I love the coloring. I love that they even included the gun modes for these guys. If you guys missed the set, if you guys missed out on getting an entire set, or if you guys missed out on getting one figure or anything else, and you guys really want this, the mold is being re-released as God Neptune from Beast Wars 2nd. As of right now, as of me recording this and posting it, it is still available, I believe, until July or June 20th to pre-order from Hasbro Pulse. So if you guys really want the molds and at least a King Poseidon or God Neptune figure, there is that option. Now the God Neptune only comes with 5 out of the 6 because just like in Beast Wars 2nd, it was a 5-member team, not a 6-member team. So you end up missing Nautilator. Nautilator was not on the original Beast Wars 2nd Pirate Seacons team, so Nautilator is not on or in that box set. It is a missed opportunity, but it is what it is. So if you guys do want an opportunity to own the mold, there is a second chance for you guys to own the mold. As always, I do not condone paying scalper pricing. Again, it's your money. If you love what you see here, absolutely. If you find a way to get it, get it. But like I always say, don't pay scalper pricing. Hasbro has been releasing, I guess, leftover stock or something of the Seacons. So keep an eye on Hasbro Pulse for any kind of, I guess, any extra that come through the website or anything like that. I don't think Takara is doing the box set for this guy. I think the box set that was rumored was actually God Neptune and not a reissue of King Poseidon as a gift set. So, again, if you guys if you guys want it, let me put it this way, if you guys want it, get it. But again, I don't pay scalper prices. So, I absolutely recommend this guy as a team, as individual figures. If you guys just want to display them individually as a team and not a combiner, I think that works phenomenally well as well. I love the chrome here on the shield up here. I love that chrome as well. I do wish that maybe this silver section right here was chrome, but again, that's just me being somewhat nitpicky. There are tons and tons of homages to screen accuracy, and there are a ton of homages to the original toy here. There is plenty to love with this figure. So, long-winded final thoughts aside, again, grab them if you can. If you guys can find them for a reasonable price, pick him up. Again, don't pay scalper prices. And as always, guys, stay safe. I love all you guys out there. And as always, cut it out. Later, guys.